Yo, what is up, guys? So today I'm gonna be doing a video on the Game Awards award winners, and I'll also just throw in my overall thoughts on the show. I apologize that this video is coming pretty late, but the Game Awards didn't end until a bit ago, and I was watching it at a friend's house. I had to drive home, and now I'm here to give you my thoughts. So first, we're starting off with the Player's Choice, and this is the category I didn't vote for because when I voted, the Player's Choice wasn't out. But I mean, for the options that were here, I would have went with Black Myth Wukong as well. I had no clue what Wuthering Waves was until this show. Apparently, it's just like another thing made by the Genshin Impact people. Elden Ring didn't win. Yeah. Another award was the Game Changer Award. And he basically the guy who got it basically helped game developers that were impacted by layoffs and shit. And I actually think that this is a really good award that is needed, especially nowadays in the game industry. It was definitely a nice touch, and it shows that despite being a like relatively high budget professional thing, they're still aware of the problems that are going on. They're not just like shills for. Like, the people at the Game Awards aren't just shills for the huge companies and shit like that. Okay, best esports team, no clue with that. I'm just gonna skip the esports shit. I mean, I guess League of Legends won esports game. I was kind of expecting that. VR AR, it was between Metro and Arkham Shadow for sure, but I think I went with Arkham Shadow when I voted, so I'm happy with that. Sports racing, don't give a fuck. Sim Strategy, I did vote for Frostpunk 2 in honor of my friend, and my friend was very happy because Frostpunk 2 won. And I definitely think, from what I've seen of Frostpunk 2, it was the best game on this list. Now, family game. I am okay with Astrobot winning, okay? I would have preferred Echoes of Wisdom to win, because I think it was so cool that we finally got a game that focused on Zelda. But I can live with Astrobot winning. I think Princess Peach Showtime was pretty shit. I'm glad that didn't win. I'm not a fan of Mario Party, and Plucky Squire could have won. I think it would have been cool to see an indie win, but I'm fine with this. Best Community Support. I was not expecting Baldur's Gate 3, but I guess they had to win something. And you know what? I'll take it because the speech that one of the creators of Baldur's Gate 3 did during the Game of the Year speech, like he did the Game of the Year speech when he announced it, the speech they did was fucking beautiful. And basically talked about all the issues in the game industry and how the Game of the Year decided to persevere through all these issues, and they put their creative vision ahead of, you know, budgetary concerns and all that shit. It was a beautiful speech, and yeah, I'm glad that Baldur's Gate 3 won something in that case. Innovation and accessibility. I've never played Prince of Persia, so I can't really judge here. I'm just glad that Star Wars Outlaws didn't win anything. Best fighting. I was not expecting Tekken 8. I know that people like Tekken 8, but I think it's pretty overrated. I was thinking Marvel vs. Capcom or Multiversus or Dragon Ball. Really, anything aside from Granblue I think should have beat Tekken, but... Next is Best Action. Black Myth Wukong. I'm glad won something because, aside from the Player's Choice, Wukong, this was the only thing that Black Myth Wukong won. I'm surprised Black Ops 6 didn't win anything at all, but I guess it makes sense because it came out super late in the year. I definitely don't think Stellar Blade deserved Best Action. Warhammer could have won, Helldivers could have, but I think Black Myth was a good choice here. Best Action Adventure. I guess when you look at the options, Astrobot makes sense. Silent Hill 2 is a remake, so I'm kind of not really inclined to give it anything. Prince of Persia, I haven't played. Outlaws, I hate. And so it was really between Astrobot and Echoes of Wisdom, just like with Family Game, really. And I guess Astrobot won it out again. Content creator, I think it was pretty obvious it was going to be Queso. The game for Impact, I was actually glad to see Neva win because it's been at so many events like Summer Games Fest, you know, all those, and yeah, I was glad to see it finally get the spotlight and win something. Best role-playing game, Metaphor ReFantazio. I was super happy because, you know, it's an Atlas game. Atlas makes Persona. And Metaphor ReFantazio is basically meant to be Persona on steroids, and I haven't played it myself. I feel like I should, for sure. But yeah, I was definitely surprised but glad to see it win. Especially against Elden Ring and Like a Dragon, two massive franchises, and Final Fantasy 2. Yeah, most anticipated, that was obviously going to be Grand Theft Auto 6. All these other four, aside from Monster Hunter Wilds, in my opinion, are also really highly anticipated. Like, my friend is really going for Ghost of Yodi. Death Stranding 2 is huge. Metroid Prime 4, fucking really huge. But I think Grand Theft Auto 6 was basically guaranteed to win. Now, here's the thing that I don't really like about the indie categories. So we have two, Best Independent Game and Best Debut Indie Game. And Balatro won both of them. Now, this is no hate to Balatro whatsoever. I acknowledge that is a very good game, and for being made by one guy, the fact that it's even up here is very impressive. But I just think Balatro should have won one of the categories, and let another indie shine for a different category, you know? Like, for one, like, I'm kind of biased here, but Donkey was at the Game Awards, and it would have been so fucking funny if Donkey got to do a victory speech. And for Animal Well, so you know what? I think Animal Well should have won at least one of these, and Balatro the other, but, you know, it's not that I dislike Balatro. Balatro's a good game, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Best multiplayer, Helldivers 2. I'm happy with that. I'm not the biggest Call of Duty guy, never played Warhammer, and not the biggest Mario Party guy, and Tekken's overrated, so, yeah. Best adaptation, I think it was definitely between Arcane and Fallout edged it out, and I'm glad, because I've always loved the Fallout franchise. I think it has very interesting lore and background, and the show actually added to it. That's what I like. It didn't adapt, it added its own original story, and yes, Arcane did that too. And really, I guess all these did, aside from Tomb Raider and Like a Dragon, but I think Fallout did it the absolute best. Best audio, I'm okay with Hellblade 2, I guess. I mean, it's best audio. I don't know if I can really judge that much. I'm not an audio technician. I'm just happy Astrobot didn't win everything it was nominated for, to be honest. Best score in music, I guess it makes sense for Final Fantasy because they're kind of known for their music, but I was kind of expecting Metaphor since Persona is definitely known for its score too. Best performance, Hellblade 2, that's alright. I was just glad there was no Star Wars Outlaws. And not even because I hate the performance, just I hate Star Wars Outlaws. Best narrative, Metaphor ReFantazio, that was great, especially going up against Final Fantasy and Like a Dragon. Best mobile game, Balatro again, but I think this was definitely deserved here. AFK Journey can go die. Wuthering Waves can go die because it's just made by Hoyoverse. I think Zenless Zone Zero is similar to that, so that can go die too. And Pokemon DCG Pocket, just by me being a Pokemon fan, I do not like it that much at all, so Balatro for sure. Best art direction, Metaphor ReFantazio, and at least actually beat Astrobot out in something, and Black Myth Wukong, and Elden Ring Shadow of the Entry. So, you know what? Good job, Metaphor. Good fucking job. And I would like to give a quick shout out to Neva here, because their art direction was good too. They definitely deserve to be nominated. Also, the fact that an indie game, like, made it into, like, an award that's not related to indies is great. Best ongoing, I think Helldivers 2 was fair. I was kind of expecting Fortnite, but I'm not complaining. Destiny 2 is basically over now. Diablo 4, no. And Final Fantasy 14, nah. So yeah. Best game direction, Astrobot. I don't know about that. I could see it, but like when you're going up against all these other heavy hitters, yeah, I don't know. And that's same with Game of the Year. I was shell shocked, you know. I'll say what I thought was going to win Game of the Year. So first, I thought it was going to be Black Myth Wukong. Second place, I thought it would be Elden Ring. Third place, I thought would be Final Fantasy. Fourth place, Metaphor, even though I think Metaphor would deserve higher. Fifth place, or no. Actually, I thought Astrobot would be on Metaphor, and then fifth would be Metaphor, and sixth would be Balatro, but no, Astrobot won. And that's kind of where I take issue with this. I think the overall show was great. There was a lot of good announcements. Fucking Witcher 4, Borderlands 4. Yeah, some big shit. And there wasn't really a whole lot of dull moments either. But aside from the fact we didn't get Persona 6, which I was sad about, but I couldn't really expect that. That's on me for getting my hopes too high. I don't know. I felt like this last award, Game of the Year, was really the only major disappointment. But what do you guys think about the winners of all the awards of the Game Awards this year? Let me know in the comments below. I genuinely want to hear what everyone's thoughts are, because from what I've read, people are actually pretty happy with Astrobot winning. And one thing I will say is, I really did like the speech that the Astrobot team gave when they won Game of the Year, and they basically shouted out Nintendo, but not by name, because, you know, they don't want to get sued by Sony for, like, mentioning their own competitors and all that. But, yeah, overall, this Game Awards, I believe, was better than last year for sure, and maybe even the last 2 years.